So, Vanguard Update 1.10 Season 1.5 here, as Sledgehammer described it, went live surprisingly earlier than expected. In this video, we're going to be running down everything that changed and what you can expect to see different within Vanguard the next time you boot up the game. So, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this update? Like it, dislike it, whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. As well, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, and of course, if you are new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with all things Vanguard, Warzone, and all things Season 1.5 here as we round into the next few days. There's going to be a lot to discuss, so make sure you're here for all of it. We're on that road to 500,000 subscribers here in 2022, so if you're part of that nearly 70% of viewers who are not subscribed and you'd like to stay up to date with all of this stuff, I'd love to have you. That said, let's jump right into it. So as we just mentioned, this update actually went live a little earlier than we probably all expected. Now, as of what was detailed in the blog post earlier today from Call of Duty, it seemed like both tonight and tomorrow night we'd get updates at 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern, and 5 a.m. in the UK. But this actually went live a couple of hours earlier, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and midnight in the UK. So a little bit of time here that you could either download it or jump right into it if you wanted to, in which case you'd see a lot of different changes. Introduced perhaps surprisingly here is that of the well gun. Personally, I kind of thought this would be held off until Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time whenever the mid-season update and the content like that actually went live, but you can progress the challenge right now, it seems, within Vanguard. For that, it's 10 ADS kills with a submachine gun in 15 different games, so it will take a little bit of time, but if you play like TDM or something like that, Ship House makes that a little bit faster. If you're playing like TDM on Shipment, that doesn't take all that long at all. It'll be like a 3 to 4 minute game max, but the well gun should actually be something you can take advantage of right now and start progressing. The shot bundle that gives you immediate access, however, doesn't seem to be there just yet, so whether or not this went live early or not, we don't quite know. Now, starting out with their patch notes here, they ended up talking about some general stuff. One of the big things highlighted first and foremost was things that should now allow us to unlock atomic camo. I'm about 2 guns total, like 1 full and then 2 with a couple of challenges left, that for myself, that hopefully we can end up unlocking atomic now with this as well. Very excited for that. But they started out their patch notes talking about stability, in which they fixed several sources of packet burst that have been identified and resolved. Several sources of multiplayer crashing has been identified and resolved. Xbox Series X players shouldn't experience game crashing anymore, and playing with a keyboard and mouse would no longer result in controller needed, that message that would pop up. Spawns were adjusted here across the board, where logic has been tuned on all small maps with higher player counts, so your assault and blitz modes. They also adjusted the spawn logic for domination on Dome. Definitely something that needed some work on all the way up here until this update, so hopefully that actually works as intended. And then spawns in the control mode have been significantly adjusted to prevent out-of-map exploits, spawning in enemy lines of sight like on Bokage, and to prevent players from spawning directly on other teammates. Now, there were also a bunch of other balancing and bug fixes as well, but starting out with the bug fixes, the attack and guard dogs now should count towards Panzerfaust camo challenges. So while it doesn't seem like we ended up getting that challenge for 3 streaks in one game to be changed overall, instead it's now just fixed. Hopefully this now makes it possible to progress that and make it something you can unlock atomic. Now, whether or not they fixed that with the aerial streaks as well to shoot those down if you can, fingers crossed, but they didn't mention anything on that. The STG's Reptilian and Predator camo weapon challenges should now be tracking properly. The Katana unlock challenge should now be tracking properly. The 3-line rifle can now be reloaded if it has the 3.5 rifle scope equipped, and a handful of other bug changes for weapons and equipment. Now, talking about the balancing that we just mentioned, we saw a handful of different weapons get adjusted here, but this has been a long time coming, something that was scheduled since December 9th, so over a month now at this point. But the M1 Garand saw a reduction in its recoil, the Type 99 had its reduction in aim flinch, ADS time, and the ability to retain one-shot kill potential for chest shots when using smaller caliber ammo chambered in your weapon. The 3-line rifle saw a reduction in its ADS time, and the Kar 98K also had the ability to retain one-shot kill potential with chest shots for smaller caliber ammo. So having just done 2/3 of my snipers here, those were incredible pains, so nice to see these buffed here for anybody that still has to do these, and for myself to complete my final one. The hollow point rounds now remove damage range penalties. The equipment of the stun grenade had a reduction in its damage in hardcore modes, so you should now hopefully be able to get those stun kills done for, say, melees in hardcore. You don't kill the player immediately or have a high probability of killing them, and also reduced how long the players are affected by stun grenades. So while in one sense it could help that grind for camos, in the other it also could hurt it. Incendiary grenades have had their damage reduced. Thank God on that one. That's probably the most annoying one that I've had to go up against recently, and we still will have future adjustments where the sort of brightness and the haze that is surrounding that's toned down as well. The mortar barrage saw a duration of the mortar strike be reduced. Thankfully, that's something that for 5 kill streaks, I don't think that it should last 30 seconds plus or whatever it is, and the number of mortar strikes per streak has been reduced. It also addressed an issue where the deployment was inconsistent, so hopefully that fixes things where like you could be in an entirely different area of the map, and even though you're well outside of that mortar radius, you could get hit with some stray explosion. Seemed like that happened quite a bit. Perks, we saw some adjustments here where High Alert has now a slight delay before the perk activates when being seen by an enemy. I don't think that was mentioned earlier, but an interesting change no less. Dauntless now gives you immunity to fire and burning effects, including the incendiary rounds, flame knot, and lingering fire on the ground, as mentioned beforehand. And same thing with Fortified. It reduces the fire damage taken by 30% now, which should be a helpful change here in all aspects, and reduces the excessive damage of all explosives. As for maps, we saw some polishing to improve and fix player collision, as well as a polishing pass on destructible environments. They mentioned that the user interface had some changes and bug fixes as well. One thing that doesn't seem to be fixed, and I really hope is, or maybe is in the future, is that if you end up, say, queuing into a game or you end up backing out to a menu, you can't quite actually access anything in your create a class until the sort of background elements load in as well. So it makes this just annoying having to wait 5 to 10 seconds before you can enter into sub menus, unless you want to be booted back out to the main queue menu. So hopefully that's fixed as well, but that has not been mentioned. And then finally, Sledgehammer also mentioned some of the zombies content here coming with the mid-season update, which I believe, as of the time of recording, which was actually earlier than when the update goes live, I think still should be time gated, though if it's not, well, that's awesome. They mentioned the new Void survival gameplay mechanic where you can enter into Shinonuma and play basically as just your regular survival round-based zombies, and every 3 rounds you'll have that ability to either jump back out or keep going. So that's something that will net you a little bit of bonus if you keep going, but you can do whatever you want with that. We also see that there's some artifact upgrades, new features like the Tome of Rituals, Von List's office, of course, which is how you end up getting into Shinonuma, Pack-a-Punch camos, some weapons like the combat shield now being available, weapon unlock challenges being available for the katana and the well gun, and other support weapons like the war machine and death machine are now available in the support tab at the crafting table. So a handful of different adjustments, a lot of things that on a fundamental level should hopefully make this a better experience overall for Vanguard in multiplayer, zombies, and all in between. So that said, that's the update and what you should be able to expect here. I'm hoping that this truly did fix the atomic camo grind. I am so ready to be done with this, and I'm so close. A little bummed that I didn't actually finish everything right when the update went out. I'm going to be just a tad behind schedule. Been grinding out the last 2 weeks here, just hardcore Vanguard camo grinding. So that's my personal hope. I really did want to see them change the 3 streak in one game to something like double kills or even triple kills I would have taken, but alas, we got to work with what we got, I guess. But for those that have already been at that max camo, they're just waiting for the Panzerfaust to be fixed or the STG to be fixed. I really hope for you guys this is fixed as well, because it's been 2 months. You guys put in the time, the effort. Hopefully it's something that actually allows us to get that camo. So fingers crossed, but that's the update here. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular that you guys are really happy that this was fixed out? Anything that was added that you guys quite like? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Vanguard, and anything COD related. We get you covered here. We have a lot to talk about here with Season 1.5 or the mid-season update rolling out for all games. So make sure you stick it here. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.